Anybody who ever brings up the fact that this is possible, that governments have done this in the past, and that they have a motive to stage crises to scare populations into submission. But people better wake up to false flag terror and realize it's part of history, it's real, and it goes on. And if we have a full awakening to this, they won't be able to do this anymore. That's why they hate 9/11 Truth so much, because it's damaged this program of control that they are engaging in. I'm Alex Jones. This is the GCN Radio Network. I'm going to get into this key news and break down the possible political futures that the different paths that we're on, many of these lines intersect. We'll be right back. Infowars.com. So the American people are angry. They know private offshore banks engineered the housing collapse, stole tens of trillions of bailout money. It's not $700 billion. They're discovering that they're being robbed by design. This is a global move. World governments being openly announced. The head of the IMF calls for a new global currency that the banks run and control, giving them even more power. And what is the system going to do? When we got the internal Homeland Security documents, when we got Army documents, they're spying on Ron Paul, the Tea Parties. They've got police with sound cannons and microwave guns out at the events. Anybody tries to peacefully protest the G20. Police dogs are used on old women. That's coming up in our film Police State 4, The Rise of FEMA. We are the American people. It's our right to run our government. It's our right to kick the foreign bankers out. It's our right, like Iceland, to say we're not paying back this money. We don't owe it. Will we go like Iceland, who's starting to say no, or like Greece, openly run by Goldman Sachs that set them up in the financial derivatives that have now destroyed them? And so the Republican and Democratic parties are all putting out public statements that we've got to keep extremists out of our parties, these anti-banker people, these anti-Federal Reserve people. And we've got to do something about them. And they're evil, and the Oath Keepers are bad, and Sheriff Mack is bad. Why, he's going around to sheriffs explaining to them they don't have to go under federal control. And we've got FEMA and Northcom and Homeland Security and the John Warner Defense Authorization Act and PED 51 that states the federal government's going to come in and suppress the states. Because they know the #1 move against the New World Order is by the 50 states, one by one, and they're starting to do it, to say no to the federal government, no to their high taxes, no to their carbon taxes, no to their unconstitutional regulations. And so people are waking up. People are getting angry. So they're doing a double game here. You've got, I've heard Pelosi now saying she likes the Tea Party and some of the people in it. She knows why you're mad. You're no longer AstroTurf. You've got, and she said what I meant by that was it's not real grass. It's not real grassroots. Not that I'm walking on you. And we've got Rick Perry saying, let's secede, which isn't 10th Amendment. I mean, you could under the 10th. We're just saying have the states say no to tyranny. But he's saying secession, fight the New World Order, fight the Bilderberg Group, fight the Trans-Texas Corridor, which he's the author of. So simultaneously, he got the Republican nomination yesterday by posing as a patriot when he's a consummate insider. Separately, I heard Kay Bailey Hutchinson's capitulation speech last night. She thanked George W. Bush, George H.W. Bush. She thanked Henry Kissinger for all endorsing her. That does say something for Perry, actually, but he's bad news. The point is, he ran with an anti-Washington bent, knowing it was the only way he could win. Okay? And so Republicans are kind of this double game. Glenn Beck, Sarah Palin, Governor Perry, and you watch, Perry and Palin are both running for president, guaranteed, in 2012. They'll announce it in the next 1.5 to 2 years. They're being positioned right now. Out of one side of their mouth, they say they lead the Tea Party so they can demonize the birthers and other people they don't like, when that's the majority of the Republican Party's been polled. They're saying the majority of their party's bad. They're there as the gatekeepers. And evidenced, the evidence of this is, here's a headline, London Guardian, Republican right-wing activists help secure Texas for Rick Perry. Moderate Republicans face being displaced by candidates backed by Tea Party and other grassroots right-wingers. What we really are is constitutionalists. So the establishment, the New York Times, London Guardian, everywhere is freaking out saying, oh my gosh, these right-wingers, that's a label to make it left-right and divide and conquer people. No, we're patriots who are against the foreign corporate takeover known as the New World Order against our country. Here's a Politico article. Give me a document cam for PrisonPlanet.tv viewers. Conservatives target their own fringe. And this goes on to demonize mainline people like Tom Tancredo, former Republican congressman. And they're demonizing Ron Paul in these reports. But here's the deal. Ron Paul got a record for Texas Republicans. 80% of the vote in the primary, with 3 Republican Party-funded neocons posing as Tea Partiers, showing the public can differentiate a real constitutionalist versus a phony one. Okay? When we get back, I want to go over the setup here. See, the Republicans know that their grassroots is constitutionalist and wants to really take the party over and fix America. They're there acting enough like us to keep control so they can also demonize true constitutionalists. Now, they want to set us up, and that'll be with a staged terror attack blamed on the Tea Parties.